The void of space stretched endlessly, dark and silent, save for the faint hum of distant stars. At the edge of a neutral star system, the USS Dauntless, a sleek human warship, drifted with calculated calm. On board, Captain Elena Voss stood on the bridge, her gaze fixed on the glowing display of incoming sensor readings. Something, or someone, was watching them. A soft alarm beeped. The alien fleet had begun a full scan of the Dauntless. Millions of miles away, dozens of towering vessels with iridescent hulls emitted waves of analysis, probing the human ship like a predator inspecting prey. Voss's lips curved in a faint, tight smile. They think they're superior. They have no idea. "Captain," said Lieutenant Ryo Tanaka, her voice steady but tight, "they're performing a deep spectrum scan. They're analyzing our propulsion, weapons, even the crew." Voss's eyes narrowed. "Keep a log. Do not engage. Let them learn the first lesson on their own." The bridge crew exchanged uneasy glances. The aliens' arrogance was palpable, a confidence built on centuries of domination across star systems. Yet humans were nothing if not unpredictable. Every sensor ping they fired was being recorded, not just for defense, but for calculation. "Message them," Voss ordered. Her voice was cold, measured. "You have scanned a human warship. Leave immediately or face consequences." Silence answered them. Then a signal returned, garbled and distorted by alien tech, but unmistakably mocking. The aliens had ignored the warning. Voss's jaw tightened. "As I said, let them learn." Below decks, the Dauntless hummed with hidden energy. Cloaked weapon systems powered online, stealth drones slipped into the surrounding nebula, and experimental sensor arrays activated, unseen by alien eyes. Every movement, every preparation was invisible to the intruder's scans. Humans were quietly dangerous. In the alien fleet, sensors misinterpreted the calm. "They are bluffing," one commander hissed, a pulse of irritation in its voice. "They will not act." Back on the Dauntless, Voss walked the bridge like a predator circling its prey. "Make no mistake," she murmured to herself, "humans always respond when provoked. And they learn fast." As the ship drifted, poised in the shadow of a distant nebula, small flickers of movement, stealth drones, vanished into the darkness. They would strike first, not in blind aggression, but in precision and strategy. The stars outside seemed calm, indifferent, but the Dauntless was ready. Humanity had sent its warning, and the aliens had chosen to ignore it. In the cold silence of space, Captain Voss allowed herself a single thought. They think this is a simple scan. They have no idea what they've started. The stage was set. The first act of provocation had been committed. Humanity would respond, but not yet. Not until the aliens truly understood the price of underestimating them. And somewhere in the alien fleet, arrogance still lingered. The alien fleet hummed with confidence, its iridescent hulls gleaming like jewels against the black canvas of space. They had scanned the human warship once and believed it harmless. A species that had fought with primitive weapons they assumed could not match their speed, firepower, or cunning. How wrong they were. On the USS Dauntless, Captain Elena Voss watched the alien signals ripple across her display. The second scan had begun, this time closer, more invasive, probing deeper into human systems. Tanaka's fingers flew over the console, her brow furrowed. "Captain, they're trying to hack our mainframe. If they succeed, they could disable our defenses before we even know it." Voss's lips pressed into a thin line. "Let them try." The moment the aliens' intrusion touched the Dauntless's systems, alarms shrieked. Not because humanity was vulnerable, but because the ship had been waiting. Automated countermeasures leapt to life, disabling alien sensors and jamming their communications. A digital ambush, invisible, yet devastating. Across the alien fleet, sensors flickered, readings scrambled. Commanders shouted orders that no one could hear. From the shadows of a nearby nebula, the first human fighter squadrons emerged. Sleek, fast, and almost invisible, they weaved around asteroid clusters, performing maneuvers impossible to predict. Alien gunners tracked them frantically, but every shot missed. The humans were everywhere and nowhere at once. "Captain," Tanaka said, awe lacing her voice. They're too fast. It's like they anticipated every move before we even knew it ourselves." Voss's eyes glinted. "They didn't anticipate us. That's the difference." Aboard the alien flagship, confusion reigned. They are not calculating like a normal species," one commander hissed, its many eyes narrowing. They are unpredictable, dangerous." The Dauntless struck silently. Cloaked drones detached from the ship, slipping into the alien formation and sabotaging engines, communications, and weapons arrays. Alien vessels spun in chaos as humans unleashed surgical strikes that seemed impossible given their numbers. Voss keyed in a message. Her voice, calm and icy over alien channels, carried a weight they had never experienced. "Curiosity is not permission. You've been warned twice. Leave or face the consequences." But arrogance is a hard teacher. The alien commanders laughed, believing humanity's strikes were mere distractions. They ordered a full preemptive assault, their energy cannons flaring, weapons surging with destructive power. Yet every attack seemed anticipated, every strategy countered. Humans were everywhere, and yet nowhere, like a ghost in the stars. Then the first major shock hit. A human stealth frigate swooped out of the nebula, slipping between alien vessels, and disabled the alien flagship's shields with a single precise strike. Alarmed sensors blinked red across the alien fleet. Panic rippled through their command ranks. Captain Voss leaned forward, her hands resting on the console. "Now they see us," she murmured. "Now they see why humans are never ignored." In the void of space, the first real battle had begun. Not a blind firefight, but a carefully calculated human counterstrike. For the aliens, arrogance was their shield. For humanity, ingenuity and resolve were their weapons. And this was only the beginning. The battlefield stretched across a sprawling asteroid field, a maze of jagged rocks and glowing cosmic dust. Alien vessels, sleek and towering, tried desperately to regroup after the crippling strikes of the human frigates. But the USS Dauntless and its accompanying squadrons moved like a shadow across the void, fast, precise, and unpredictable. Captain Elena Voss stood on the bridge, eyes scanning every blip, every signal. "Adjust vectors," she ordered. "Target their command network. Keep their fleet in disarray. Let's see how they handle a species they've already underestimated." Human fighters darted between asteroids, weaving in and out of alien fire. Energy blasts struck rocks and exploded harmlessly, leaving the pilots untouched. Every maneuver was coordinated, almost as if the fleet itself thought as one organism. The aliens struggled to anticipate human tactics, their calculations failing at every turn. Aboard the alien flagship, panic reigned. "How is this possible?" one commander shrieked, its many appendages shaking. "They are not following logic. Their movements are chaotic." "Chaotic?" muttered Voss under her breath, a hint of amusement in her tone. "No, they're human." The Dauntless unleashed its experimental weapons. Plasma swarms, tiny autonomous energy drones,
flooded the alien ranks, disabling propulsion systems and knocking out shields in rapid succession. Alien vessels spun helplessly, unable to maintain formation or coordinate attacks. Captain Elena Voss keyed a personal command: AI Squadron Delta, execute Phase 3. A network of fighter drones darted forward, sacrificing themselves in a controlled overload of the alien command ship's sensors and weapons arrays. Red warnings flared across the enemy flagship's consoles as systems crashed one by one. The alien fleet's morale shattered. Ships began retreating, yet human interceptors struck with surgical precision, targeting those that faltered. Every alien retreat was met with a calculated human ambush. The battlefield became a lesson in efficiency, strategy, and audacity, an unrelenting testament to human ingenuity. Then came the daring strike. Captain Voss piloted a stealth frigate through the chaos, maneuvering into the heart of the alien flagship. Using a combination of hacking protocols and battlefield intuition, she sabotaged the ship's primary weapons. In moments, the alien vessel went dark, systems offline, leaving the remaining fleet vulnerable. Even amidst the carnage, Voss's mind was sharp, calculating losses and anticipating next moves. Every human sacrifice, every tactical risk had been meticulously planned. The aliens had learned a lesson. Humans were not only fearless, they were relentlessly smart. As the final alien vessels limped away, battered and broken, Voss allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. "Humanity does not retreat when cornered," she murmured to her crew. "We adapt, we fight, and we always prevail." The stars glimmered silently around them, bearing witness to the first full display of human ingenuity against a superior alien force. Humanity had struck not with overwhelming numbers alone, but with cunning, bravery, and unyielding resolve. In the stillness after the storm, one truth became clear across both fleets. The galaxy had seriously underestimated humans, and that mistake would not soon be forgotten.
The battlefield had fallen silent. Twisted alien hulls drifted among the asteroids, glowing faintly from damaged energy cores. Human fighters hovered in formation, engines idling, scanning for any remaining threats. The USS Dauntless floated at the center, calm and unscathed, a stark symbol of human resilience amidst the chaos. Captain Elena Voss leaned on the bridge railing, her eyes sweeping the wreckage. The cost had been significant. Some of their squadrons had not returned, but the victory was undeniable. Humanity had fought not only with courage, but with strategy, precision, and ingenuity. The aliens, once smug and dismissive, had learned the hard way that humans were not to be underestimated. A signal blinked on Voss's console. It was from the retreating alien command. Their voice, usually sharp and commanding, now trembled with unfamiliar caution. "Humans, you are formidable. We acknowledge our miscalculation. You are not a species to provoke." Voss considered the message carefully, then nodded to her communications officer. "Send a broadcast." Her voice was firm, resolute. "Let this be a warning to all who traverse this sector. Curiosity is tolerated. Trespass is not. Humanity does not forgive those who threaten our people." The message echoed across the void, reaching distant stars and listening ears. Allies and rivals alike would hear it, and a new reputation would take root. Humans were no longer merely survivors. They were strategists, warriors, and pioneers who combined courage with intelligence. As the crew tended to their wounded and repaired their systems, Voss reflected on the battle. The aliens had expected humans to react predictably, to crumble under pressure. Instead, humans had adapted, improvised, and struck with devastating efficiency. Every tactic had been calculated, every risk weighed. Humanity had won not because they were stronger in numbers or technology, but because they were clever, audacious, and unyielding. On the bridge, Lieutenant Tonica gave a small smile to Captain Voss. "They won't forget this, Captain. Not anytime soon." "No," Voss replied, her gaze drifting toward the stars. "Every encounter teaches us something. Every challenge makes us stronger. This was a warning, yes, but also a lesson." The USS Dauntless set course back to Earth, engines slicing through the void. Behind them, the remnants of the alien fleet disappeared into the dark, leaving a galaxy forever changed. Humanity had proven that they were a force to be reckoned with, a species defined not by arrogance or cruelty, but by ingenuity, courage, and an unyielding drive to protect their own. As the ship accelerated toward home, Voss allowed herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. The stars glimmered around her, silent witnesses to the audacity of a species once underestimated. Across the void, humanity's legend had begun, a beacon of resilience and a warning to those foolish enough to provoke it. Somewhere in the distant reaches of space, alien commanders would tell the story of the human warship that had turned arrogance into defeat. And in that story, humans would always be remembered, not just as survivors, but as the unpredictable, relentless, and formidable force that the galaxy had never truly known.